Welcome to the Apex Perspective podcast. My name is Aryan Mohindra, and today's episode is sponsored by Mind and Body Mastery, in which we provide CEOs and founders with tailored health programs. Now, I started my health journey at 240 pounds. To date, I've lost over 70 pounds, and something I took away was with health, the consequences come very fast and they hit very hard. Given that, my specific objective with Mind and Body Mastery is to lead CEOs and founders to live longer and healthier lives by leveraging location independent movement, which you can do anytime and anywhere, such as walking, which is exactly how I lost over 70 pounds. If you'd like to learn more about that, check out mindandbodymasteryfitness.com, in which you get access to free resources that give you more insight to this perspective and will save you years of mistakes on your own health journey. Today we have Charlie Sarati, CEO at OnlyKale. Charlie, tell me more about your experience and how it led to OnlyKale.
All right, and thank you for having me on the podcast today. And I'll tell you, I really appreciate your opener about walking because I got certified as a personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And that is sort of the tail end of a journey that involves sustainable living. So big plus for you, get out there moving. Motion and what you put in your body are the two combinations, in addition to sleep, that give you health and wellness. And the science now is out there about mental connection too, physical, mind, body, spirit. So, God bless you. Godspeed going forward on your health.
Thank you.
Your health journey. I'll wind the clock back to the undergraduate days at the University of Virginia as an architect. So back in the day, I had an interest in sustainable design. And this was before anyone really cared about electric cars and AI and robotics and even climate change. Well, it turns out that in the grad school run, so this is University of Pennsylvania, I was very fortunate to have Kinya Maruyama as a professor. He had been a traveling instructor coming from Tokyo at some of the other Ivy League schools and happened to be in the year I was there as a studio instructor. He ended up not only teaching me, but hiring me to go work in Japan, which was incredible as an environmental enthusiast, like literally a guru of sustainable design. I got the bug, and this is back in the early 90s, into adaptive reuse and wellness, not just for the building with, solar panels and wind power and everything, but how the elements inside, the volatile organic compounds that are in things like furniture and glues, could be purged out of our basically environment, that it was about wellness, not just saving money on the utility bill. And at that point, I was really kind of frustrated because as a sort of progressive thinker, politically sort of in the center, but on the left, thought it's too bad that America doesn't see clean energy and sustainable design as a cause that could be for all of us. I didn't love the way it got politicized as sort of green equaled the left movement. And it should be an American cause for wellness, for the body and the buildings. And over the course of this arc of my career in 3 decades as a designer, realized that lighting was a big deal. And so what happened is I pivoted into LED lighting, and for almost 15 years produced with Independence LED lighting, the first US manufacturer of basically what are Buy American Act compliant lights, not only for building efficiency, but for growing plants. And it was really, really interesting to be ahead of that curve, because for so many years, and it's still the case today, almost 90% or more sometimes of vegetables are grown in California and moved all the way across the country. So I got fascinated in this journey towards the OnlyKale business with indoor agriculture and locally grown farming. Because when you move produce halfway across the continent, or in sometimes all the way across the continent, you have 4 or 5 days of transit. And if it's refrigerated, you've killed those plants and they start to lose their nutrients. So you can somehow, try and stop this, but unless you grow locally, you're really going to lose 20, 30% sometimes of these nutrients. So local farming became an interesting angle for me in terms of how you could take empty warehouse buildings, adaptively reuse them for indoor agriculture. And we started growing romaine lettuce and bibhead lettuce and kale and all kinds of things. And it's not unusual that also things pop up like the cannabis guys would call, and they wanted the lights to grow, marijuana because it was going to cost less in terms of the electricity footprint. We were 10% of the cost to run the same photons, and did adjustments into all the sensitivity of nanometers. So I'm sharing all of this with you because it led to the kale as a superfood, and thinking that if we can have the combination of indoor and also outdoor growing, and we can freeze dry it right on the farms, we can reduce the weight by 90%. So 1/10 of the weight for shipping, and it's shelf stable without the need for refrigeration. Just to give you some perspective on this, I thought I was helping to save the planet and dollars by making smart buildings and transportation. Have a solar house, have an electric car. Those are great because transportation is about 14% of greenhouse gas emissions for cars, and buildings are about 6%. The production and movement, transportation of food, is 24% of greenhouse gas emissions, almost a quarter. So all the things I had been doing to help reduce my operating costs for businesses and personally, and for the planet, were not making as big of an impact as if we changed in some way the food supply chain. So there is the lead up to OnlyKale with the freeze drying and the stick packs to have a superfood that has all the benefits for eyes, skin, hair, the heart, bones, immune system, detox, and for fitness, recovery, energizing, strength, and also for weight loss. So it was like, why not superfood? There's the long story of a journey that took 3 decades compressed into a few minutes.
Excellent.